Hello and welcome to the Better in Business podcast. Today's episode is the first one in a series that I am doing. It is called the Business Mastery Blueprint. And rather than tell you any more, I'd like to just get stuck into the episode. So I'll see you in there. You've tuned into the Better in Business podcast, and I'm your host, Jeannie Savage. I'm a multi-award winning business veteran and head of the Strategic Bookkeeper Network. My network of strategic bookkeepers is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs do better in business. This podcast aims to challenge your thinking. If you're not thinking the right way, how can you act the right way? Each episode will dive into key drivers of success, which I also call the rules of the game. Learn the rules and play to win. Let's go. I like to start every episode by reminding you that it is globally recognized that pillar number one for success is up-to-date, accurate bookkeeping, which is the only way you can see how your business is performing in terms of profit and cash. If your books aren't right up to date, visit betterinbusiness.global, drop me a line and I'll connect you with a certified strategic bookkeeper. Fire your bookkeeper and hire a strategic bookkeeper. Bookkeeping is a cost, whereas strategic bookkeeping is an investment that averages a 10x return on the fees. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to quickly let you know that I'll soon be running a brand new series of workshops on how to start, grow, fix, or scale your business. In these sessions, you can expect to get real education. We'll diagnose the problems in your business, uncover the mistakes that might be holding you back, and most importantly, I'll show you how to scale in a way that's rock solid so that your business gives you both the income and time freedom you want and deserve. This isn't theory. I've got decades of experience scaling my own businesses and helping others do the same. I've supported a large enterprise through a $100 million scale up, helped a trade business move from 0 to 1 million profitability per year, and guided others through meteoric rises in their industries. Along the way, I've been honored to be recognized as a multi-award winning entrepreneur, including Australia's Women in Finance Innovator of the Year and Bookkeeper of the Year. If you'd like to join the waitlist for these workshops, then just send an email to hello@betterinbusiness.global with the word waitlist, and we'll make sure that you're the first to know when we are running these workshops. See you in the episode. Okay, let's get into it. So to elaborate a little bit more, in the show notes, you will find our one pager of the Business Mastery Blueprint. Every entrepreneur should have it printed out and on their desk. I use it daily in my business, okay? So in this part one, what I want to do is go through the 4 stages of business and also the mistakes and misconceptions that could be holding you back. Or if you're a startup, we want to help you avoid doing. And then I'll talk to you about how to take action. So this will be the 3 parts of this podcast to set us up for success. And if you look at the Business Mastery Blueprint, if you download it from the show notes and you feel like you don't fully understand it or you want to know more, that's a good indication that there's a pretty big opportunity in your business to optimize your business performance, because that Business Mastery Blueprint, which is a mind map, which represents how to win work, do work, and turn all of that into a highly profitable scaled business that gives you the income and the time freedom that you want and deserve. Anything that you don't have dialed in or you just plain don't understand, there is the opportunity to understand it, to learn it, to build it, to dial it in, to optimize your business performance. And what does that look like? Business performance is profit, cash, and scaling yourself out so you get the time. So you've got a business working for you rather than you working for your business. So now let's start with the 4 stages of business. Now, I've heard different stages of business put different ways, and I myself internally have had 4 stages of business. that I've been using for a long time and strategic bookkeepers have been using. And I actually just recently developed 4 new stages as I was seeking to deepen the results that I get with my clients, both entrepreneurs and bookkeepers. And actually developing these new 4 stages and then presenting these to my clients really helped me to level up the results. So understanding these stages where you are is really, really foundational to you succeeding. So let's go through them now. So the stages are startup, growing, booked but broken, and scaling. Now, in a perfect world, if you were a robot that made no mistakes and had no wrong thinking going on, your linear path would be you would start, you would grow, and you would scale, and voila, perfect, easy. The booked but broken stage of business is because we make mistakes. And we make mistakes because of a lack of education, because we're thinking the wrong way. And if we think the wrong way, we will act the wrong way. And honestly, one of the best analogies is that kind of journey on a road. You start out in business and you think what you need to do is be technically skilled, like I know that I can do the thing or I can sell the thing, whatever the thing is. Then I need to find clients and customers, and then I just need to grow. So you go from that startup, no clients, to growing. I've got some clients, but I need to find more. And as you grow, because you are missing critical pieces of a working business model, which is represented on the Business Mastery Blueprint, rather than your business ending up a scaled business where you can take your hands off the wheel, take lots of time off, and get a nice 6-figure or 7-figure take-home pay, you end up overworked, underpaid, booked up with customers or clients, but the profit and the cash is simply not there, and your business dream becomes a nightmare. So just coming back again to the 4 stages. Startup is really no customers, no clients. You've either just started out, maybe off you go to networking events, you're ready to find that first customer, first client. The next stage, which is growing, is where you've found one or more clients or customers, but you still have capacity for more. So you're actively growing your client base, your customer base. And some entrepreneurs can sit in this space forever. I recently met an entrepreneur who was sitting in that space for 40 years. So what happens in that case is you're on a seesaw. You're finding work and then you're doing work, or you're finding customers, you're serving them, but then you've got to go and find more and serve them. So you're constantly going through this feast and famine, okay? Whether that's you or not, this growing phase is where you're actively trying to fill up your capacity. One of the reasons some entrepreneurs just sit in that growth phase forever is they never manage to create a pipeline of prospects that are constantly coming through and buy from them. When you have a pipeline, which can be created by using the Business Mastery Blueprint, that is going to be one really big part of how you move beyond constantly trying to acquire clients and sitting in this growth phase forever. And another part can be businesses where there is an opportunity to really make sure that we continue to serve clients. For example, let's say you're a carpet cleaner, then we should be rebooking everyone and you should be booked up with repeating business. And we see businesses fail there too. So there's this lack of pipeline and lack of smart strategies that allow you to book up and stay booked up, okay? But the growth phase, regardless, is where you are actively seeking to find new business because you are not at capacity, or the capacity keeps kind of opening up and you have to keep filling it up. Now, eventually, if you can fill up that growth phase, if you get enough clients and you sometimes stumble across a way to fill up that pipeline, if you're working with a broken business model without knowing it, then rather than going to scaled, you're going to hit booked but broken. Now, this is where in the growth phase, you might be all by yourself, or you might have a little help as well, but you create the sales, you create the revenue. It seems pretty sustainable. It's very exciting because revenue is vanity. Okay. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. So when the revenue is going up, we generally employ staff. And one of the first misconceptions is that what we need to focus on is just more sales. But when you have a broken business model, for example, let's say you are a tradie and your job costing system is broken and you don't know it, but some of your jobs are not profitable. And the same actually applies for any service-based business where you are selling your time and the time of your team. So generally time and materials. If you are not managing the financial management of that business very, very carefully, when you bring on more revenue, it can easily be translating into a very low profit business. And if you are not collecting the money from your customers or clients in a timely manner, if you are not reserving money for obligations, you can also end up with a cash flow problem. So this is where, when you are in the growth stage and you don't know you've got a broken business model, and once again, the business mastery blueprint is the working business model. So it serves as like a diagnostics as well as a to-do. You can look at it, what have you got dialed in and so on. Like I said earlier, if you don't know you're working with a broken business model, then you are going to end up booked up, absolutely booked up with clients, revenue going up, but you will not translate that into the high profit or the time freedom. You will end up overworked and underpaid. So what does that fourth stage of business look like, the scaled business that only 10% or less entrepreneurs get to? That looks in a nutshell like a beautiful take-home pay. Now, usually I would say that's somewhere in the six-figure range, especially for small business entrepreneurs, small to medium enterprises. For example, a trade business that I took from 4 million turnover, zero profitability to 1 million profitability a year, the owner's take-home payout of that will be in the six-figure range because he's going to leave money in the business as well, okay? So generally, it's a six-figure take-home pay that can be 100 and something, 200 and something, 300 and something, whatever it is. It's your dream on your terms, but it's also lots of time off. It is a business that is working for you a lot like an investment, okay? So you don't need to be in the day-to-day of the business. You've got people in there, you've got management, you've got systems, you've got a working business model. You just need to keep your finger on the pulse. You absolutely need to adapt to the changing consumer, economic, and tech landscape. As I like to say, those three things. I quite enjoy doing that myself. It might sound a bit nerdy. And the scaled business ultimately is a real business. Now, to give you an idea of the power of the blueprint, currently I own and operate two businesses. So one of my businesses I've had for about 16 years. And it took me about 5 or 6 years to scale that into a scaled business, a business that gave me a nice six-figure wage and also lots of time freedom with a nice little team that could take care of business. And that was a real business that is working for me. Now, 13 years into running that business with everything that I had learned, with the investment that I made in myself as a business strategist, as a business coach, with everything I'd learned, the next business that I launched, I scaled into a multi-six-figure business in weeks. Okay, so let's take a moment to digest that as the power of the business mastery blueprint that I have developed myself. That business that I opened 16 years ago took me 5 or 6 years. The business I developed after all the learnings and developing the business mastery blueprint took me about 2 weeks. Okay. Now I'd just like to refresh and dive back into the mistakes and misconceptions before we go into taking action, and then just a quick snippet on next fortnight's episode in this series. So in terms of the mistakes and misconceptions, right at the beginning in the startup phase, the main mistakes thinking that the two most important things is your ability to do the work or deliver the thing. So technical skill, for example, if I'm a plumber, I can do the plumbing. If I am a chiropractor, I'm a great chiropractor. So believing that the two most important things are the ability to do the work, right, or sell the product, whatever it is, and then also just find people to buy from you. So that's the first two. And then the third one is believing that if you just grow, voila, that's it. So I can do the thing, I'll find people that want the thing, and then I'll grow, and that will all work out. Like eventually I'll employ staff and they'll do some of it, and that's how you run a business, right? No. What's required to build a scaled business that is like an investment for you is vastly different to the skills required to do the thing. And just for example, some key areas where I see entrepreneurs go wrong, definitely products and pricing. So their ability around products and pricing, and definitely financial management. These are two massive ones that when I meet entrepreneurs that are in that booked but broken space, we narrowly focus on to fix those first before we go back, look at the business mastery blueprint and reset our focus to go about fixing and renovating the business, so to speak. So now I'd like to wrap up with a bit of an action plan. What I suggest in terms of action is number one, to get the business mastery blueprint from the show notes, print it out, put it on your desk. As I said earlier, if a lot of it or some of it doesn't make sense, it should make sense. And so the opportunity that exists is to go slowly, step by step, to discover what it all means and to begin to understand how to start, grow, fix, or scale your business. So grab that. Action item number 2, I highly recommend that you email us the word waitlist to hello@betterinbusiness.global so we can let you know when I am running that workshop series. And the next action item that I recommend is really linked to those mistakes. If you've listened to this podcast and you're identifying as busy, booked, and broken, or maybe in the startup or the growing or even the scaling, then you may want to take some action around those mistakes. Okay. So what I recommend is that you are paying attention to your numbers. I recommend that you are working with a strategic bookkeeper to dive into your numbers on a monthly basis. Success leaves clues. And I can tell you right now, successful entrepreneurs are doing precisely this. And in fact, when you're working with just a bookkeeper and the bookkeeper is preparing those up-to-date accurate numbers, great. That's pillar 1 for success. But that alone, honestly, it's a cost. It's a cost that not even I want to incur. When you work with a strategic bookkeeper and they are going that one step further and investigating these numbers with you, you quickly make more than they're charging you. Okay. And I know this from experience and we see it all the time. So a strategic bookkeeper can help you to dive into the numbers and take action based on how your business is really performing. And my certified strategic bookkeepers are also au fait with the business mastery blueprint. So they can sit, they can dive into the numbers with you, they can hold that space for you to see the story that the numbers are telling you, and they can connect this to the business mastery blueprint for you. So if you have heard about this podcast through a certified strategic bookkeeper, you can go back to your bookkeeper if you're not already investigating the numbers with them. Now, what your bookkeeper will do for you, your strategic bookkeeper, is they'll start with a nice, simple needs analysis, and then they can even do some free diagnostics tools with you, okay, and give you some really great information so you can self-assess taking the next step with them. Strategic bookkeepers truly believe that selling is dead, self-assessing is in. So you won't get any hard sell from us. We will just hold the space for you to get the clarity and make the decision yourself. So that's the other one on the action list that I think would be good, because if you've learned in this episode about some mistakes you might be making, you might be just chomping at the bit to take action, and really working with the strategic bookkeeper is how to take action. Okay. Now, in the next episode, we'll continue to dive into the business mastery blueprint by going beyond the stages of business and beyond those mistakes and misconception, and actually looking at the business mastery blueprint and what it all means, and step by step how you diagnose where you are now, where you want to be, and exactly what to do next and what to focus on to move the needle in your business and to make sure that you get the income and the time freedom that you want and you deserve. And I'll see you in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I enjoyed recording it. I would love to help you start doing better in business right now by giving you a free little ebook. It's a how-to guide. It's called The 7 Deadly Cash Flow Sins. And also I've developed a business health check for you. It's super high value. Both are available at betterinbusiness.global. If you would like to fire your bookkeeper and hire a strategic bookkeeper to start enjoying a return on investment and get the support you need to optimize your business cash and profit and time wealth, simply visit betterinbusiness.global, drop me a line, and I'll connect you with a certified strategic bookkeeper near you. I'll see you in the next episode.